Hello everybody and welcome back to the recap of last week in Spellweaver, and oh boy, it's finally here. The countdown to the new cards release is finally up and running. It wasn't there yesterday, so that's a fact. Released over time in batches of 7 to 15 cards, new cards each month except July and January, full packages released cards available for gold or crystals, new novelty packs with 4 cards from Ancients Rising, and cards from Ancients Rising will be in premium and foil packs. And the costs are actually, yeah, I guess we can announce it already. The cost for the full playset of the new cards will be 300,000 gold or 1,200 crystals. So, not that bad actually. I'm positively surprised. There will also be an option to buy all the cards in foil immediately. Although no info on the pricing of that yet. We'll learn on Saturday, because yeah, apparently that's what the release will be. If it's Thursday and we had like 1 day and some hours remaining, then it will probably zero out at midnight, more or less, and then follow plus 1 day, so entire Friday, and on Saturday the cards will be live. The last week, actually, it might have seemed like a very boring week through the perspective of an ordinary player, but it was a very, very intensive, very productive week in like behind the scenes, because we've been doing a lot of things. First of all, there was a lot of testing involved on the balance team end of things. We've actually went through a few revisions of many different cards. Yeah, I'm saying we, although technically I left like no no feedback whatsoever. But that's simply due to the fact that I was actually introduced to the locked balance team channel, that we were supposed to discuss all the balance issues on what, last Saturday or last Friday? I don't know, something like that. But I definitely spent like the majority, I would say the entire Saturday. That would be kind of a figurative way of saying it. Yeah, because it wasn't directly everything. I had a few breaks, but I've spent most of the Saturday just reading through the comments made so far on the issue of the balance testing and the different cards that were happening. Then on Sunday, I did not finish reading everything on Saturday. This is one of the reasons why I was always saying that I'm not entirely fond of the Discord discussion format as a chat. I mean, if it was in a forum posts, I think we would have at best 3, maybe 4, worst case scenario 5 pages of comments. So that will be like, what, 50, 60 comments? Unless we would, of course, split into each card into a separate comment, then I guess we'd end up with something between like 2 to 3 pages of comments per card times 7. That would give us, in a very, very mad scenario, 7 times what? 2, 3, so something between 14 and 21 pages. I guess more polarizing ones would be a little bit more popular in the discussion. Less polarizing cards will be less popular, so I guess we would have something of averaging between 18 pages. So that's still like what, 180 messages. In the totally worst case scenario, I think we would have like tops 200, 250 messages total regarding all the balance stuff. If it was in the forums format, since it was Discord, I have no idea how many messages were there, because apparently Discord breaks at over 500 messages. And if you have 500 messages and you keep going backwards, then apparently Discord then wraps back to 400, then goes 450, 500, and then again wraps back to 400. But we've definitely scored a few thousand messages, so I wasn't able. Right now, I still haven't even gotten to the most recent messages. I think, yeah, reading it a little bit on, reading entire Saturday, a little bit on Sunday, a little bit on Monday, I have gotten to, I don't know, messages from like, what, 2nd of May? Probably? Maybe not even that. Yeah, basically that's horrible, so I only partially know what happened there. I have did some of my own testing, but yeah, because I didn't really want to go and just like, hey, I just ignored everything you've been saying for the past week, and here is my thoughts that will probably overlap to some extent with some of the other thoughts. So in the end, I left no feedback on that. On the other hand, on the Sunday, I'm like, yeah, okay, let's continue reading this shit. And I'm popping into Discord. I'm actually sitting at the computer, and I'm looking at Discord, and Ivko is messaging me, and he's like, "Hey, are you done with the translations?" And I'm like, "Holy shit, man!" It's like, okay, you've sent the email on like what, 1st, 2nd of May? I think it might have been 1st. Then I replied on the 2nd, and then throughout the entire... No, I think he sent it on 2nd, I replied on 3rd. Throughout the entire 4th, I was like sitting constantly looking there for any message on that. And since in the email Ivko said something like that they will only reply to people selected to translate, I figure out whatever, if he didn't reply, someone else is doing it. And I'm like entering... And it's like I basically stopped checking the email, like, compulsively. And because I've spent an entire Saturday on Discord, I did not bother going to check the email. It's like I usually, like, check the email. I don't check the email every day unless I expect a message. Yeah, I would usually, like, check every other day, sometimes even less. It's like I don't really get that many messages that would be so crucial that if I missed them on day 1, they would be irrelevant on day 2. So I basically ignored it, and on Sunday, Ivko is asking me if I'm done with it. I'm like, man, I wasn't aware of that. Didn't even start. So I've spent majority of not majority of Sunday, because actually I started doing it in the afternoon. But I've spent majority of the afternoon just translating the cards for new release. Then we had on the evening, I have no idea what I was doing on the evening. But then Monday came, and Monday was hectic. I did literally nothing regarding anything on Monday. Maybe read a few messages, but Mondays are like definitely the hardest day I have. Like I have the most classes on Mondays. Mondays are pretty rough. So I came back home late. I was pretty wasted, did not do much. Then it was Tuesday, which again, oh my god. I mean, Tuesdays are nice. Because I have like only one class, so I'm like going to the uni. I spend more time traveling back and forth to the university than I spend in classes. But regardless, the beautiful life of a student, I guess. Yeah, but actually, this particular Tuesday also had to be hectic. I had a lot of like, well, they are kinda university related, but they are not classes related. But I still had some important events to attend, and stuff to do. And on the evening, we also had a road trip, so I was out. Apparently, I probably got a little sick on that. And after I came back yesterday back home, yesterday? Yeah, it's yesterday. Yesterday was Wednesday. After I came back yesterday home, I was like totally wasted and I was unable to do anything. And by wasted, I don't mean totally hungover, which is partially true as well. But yeah, I think I got some sort of flu. Well, I had actually pretty high temperature today in the morning. I think it's lowered now, but anyway, less about me, more about new cards, because I guess that given the what is it? Given the fact that they will be released any second now, and that most of them has been already released, I think I can easily take the liberty to show you everything. Man, don't bother anymore. I mean, if I recall correctly, Ifco did not show 2 cards so far. Oh, like, first of all, maybe I should get to the old cards, because the thing is, like, the cards we have right now in the game are like the second iteration of cards. The first iteration was actually different. We had different cards, and they were changed somewhere midweek. Wednesday, I think, was actually the day they got changed, or Tuesday. Tuesday or Wednesday, somewhere about that was when the new cards were actually introduced for the balance team to test. So first of all, there is the crap. I have no idea where I have the. I don't remember those cards. I was supposed to look at them from the conveniently saved screenshot that I will actually post on the video, probably right about now. Yeah, there's a lot. There they are. There's a lot of changes made to various cards. Let's start with the hero, with the Edix. Right now, Edix is... actually, Edix has been announced. Oh, it broke! Oh my god. The cards are no longer available for testing. Huh, okay. So, well, we'll be doing everything from the screenshots. Okay. So, the first version of Edix was actually planned to look at top 3 cards of your deck and put a primary card from them into your hand. And the rest shuffled at the bottom of your deck. So basically the general consensus of that was that this is actually more or less Divine Offering. And well, it's hard to not agree with that. Except it was giving you the additional cards, like potential to draw some additional cards in the form of new primary cards, Protoprisms and the Spiders. But it wasn't totally worth it. The potential was that maybe later on in the game, with new cards included, more primary cards will make it useful. But right now it was kind of lame, and not many people were really fond of it. It was later changed to the alternative version that actually ended up coming into the game. The second version of Edix draws an additional card for your starting hand, but loses you 1 life whenever you play a non-ancient spell. The first version was like you would lose 1 life whenever you played any spell, which essentially is the same right now because there are no ancient spells so far in the game. That's kinda lame. It also had 25 health included as the base, and Yeah, and technically had no activated ability because all those abilities were passive, so you would be able to toss 3 new abilities on that thing. It was something to be considered, but in the end, I think I kind of preferred the Primal Link version with the drawing of a primary card. Maybe if it was slightly tweaked, maybe if we had better amounts of primary cards, it would be more useful. But we'll see. We'll see. So far, playing Edicts with regular spells, like, it's very difficult to build a deck that runs no spells, and it's like permanent Curse of Risha on you. It really hurts. It really hurts a lot of decks. Anyway, the next card we had was Protoprism, that in its first form, despite not saying primary on the card, it was supposed to be primary. Can attack or block unless you control 4 or more artifacts. Play boost, draw a card if you pay 1 attack, 1 health, 2 speed. So basically, many people had a problem that's like basically worthless, because you do have to somehow get 4 or more artifacts on the field, and then it's still useless. Like, by the time you're able to muster 4 artifacts on the field, the 1/1 is really useless. It's very vulnerable to any sort of mass destruction. You know, detonates, the flames, something that deals a lot of damage. Wait, let me check the name because I forgot as usual. The Fire Blast and many others. So basically, yeah, it would be nice at drawing you cards, but not really much aside from that. So in the new versions, it was actually changed. One version of Protoprism would change it to Protoprism counts as a drone while on the field, and the same play boost, so draw 1 card. That was kind of boosting the artifacts deck, the one that relies on Steel Sentience to be lethal. But it wouldn't do much other things. It would still draw you some cards, but you know, people were still skeptical about this. So the other version of Protoprism, the one that actually comes into the game, is the Protoprism that is a primary artifact, not an artifact creature anymore. Primary artifact creature, to be precise. And you sacrifice the Protoprism. The next creature you play this turn costs 1 less. When you play that creature, draw a card. So it's essentially storing mana for later use. It has the potential to be game-breaking. Although, the thing is, it takes space in your hand, which is crucial. It takes space in your deck, which is crucial. But on the other hand, it gives you sorry, the ability to go for unexpected ramps. We'll see. Actually, I did not test this version of this card, so I cannot really tell much how it will fare in the game. The next one is the Elvish Champion, which probably seen the least of changes out of all the cards. The only real difference is that in old version of the card, her play boosts required 4 creatures on either your or opponent's side. Now in the new version they require only 3, which basically makes it a little more, a little easier to activate. But in a matter of fact, it makes it really, really powerful. Next is a Boar Rider, and oh boy. So, initially, it was supposed to be 3/3 with 2 speed. Would put a target emblem when it enters, and it could only attack creatures with target emblem, which was really making it totally unusable, especially at this cost. You would be much better using the Raki's Berserkers in your Rage aggro deck, because this is basically the only real deck that could kinda use a card like that. It has a very limited use, and it's really not that exciting. It was changed to 3-4 and 2 speed, and changed to the fact that it can attack creatures with any emblem on them. Actually, it is possible there might be some little changes to maybe stats and stuff on the cards, but this is like the most recent version of the test cards that we had, and most of that is consistent with what I was translating. So, but actually I was not translating stats because they remain the same, so I don't know if anything changes. I know if abilities change. So now it puts the target emblem and can attack with any emblems. I was actually trying it in a deck that... I'm not sure. So did the decks disappear? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's very interesting. Emblem Boars. This is where I was trying it. Huh. It is still in here. But it's not on my favs and not on my card, but I still like have it. Wait, but if I'd go to collection cards, no, they don't appear. I mean, Ethics should appear at the top. Unless they made more changes that I'm not. No. So it's simply messed up. I actually tried to make something useful out of it, using them in a target emblem based deck. So I'm running Fire God Temples with a little bit of weakness emblems. Not really fond of it. Kinda works, but that's not really much. So yeah, back to those cards. The next one in the line. Oh boy, Superiority, or the earlier version of it, the Mage Duel. So the Mage Duel was insane. When Mage Duel enters the field, set aside all other cards not named Mage Duel until it leaves the field, empty your mana crystals and end your turn. The first time a hero is dealt damage, destroy Mage Duel, the other hero draws a card and gains 3 life. So basically the idea was you would play that and clear the board, and you would be forced to end your turn. And then your opponent starts the game as if that was a brand new game, except potentially the cards in their hand. So it's like if you would be able to like empty their hand, they will be screwed. And the idea was that you would just fight with the brand new board to face damage. And after either of you faced damaged, then the one who was able to do the face damage first would draw a card and gain 3 life. Very powerful effect, very powerful card, kind of a silencer-like effect. Very annoying. Many people were really mad at this card. So it got changed. Basically, yeah, just to clarify, set aside would mean that you would take everything out of the board, and it would not disappear completely, but would like be suspended in a limbo. And after Mage Duel would be destroyed, everything would come back in the same way it was before the Mage Duel entered. Although apparently some cards were bugged with it, some were not really returning in the proper way. Well, everything to be expected. Nasty card, very powerful and could lead to very annoying cancer decks. So it was changed to Superiority, which is still very interesting. Because for 2 mana and 2 levels, one of those has to be Dominion, so it's actually 1 mana cheaper than the original. This is probably the only card that got its cost changed. You would put it, potentially end your turn, wait for your opponent, and then at the start of your next turn, you would draw a card and gain 2 life if you are the hero with most creatures. So it would count your creatures, your opponent's creatures. If you have more, you gain 2 life and draw a card. If you don't, then nothing happens and it goes to the next step. Next step is checking the cards in your hand. So it counts the cards in your hand, it counts the cards in your opponent's hand. If you have more than your opponent, you draw a card and gain 2 life. And then, if you don't, then nothing happens. It goes to the next condition, and the next condition is that it checks your life, your opponent's life. If you have more, you gain 2 life and draw a card. It basically cannot benefit your opponent, so that is something, but gives your opponent at least a little bit of time to try and manipulate the board hand and life situation to their advantage. If they can do it, then they can take away some healing and draws from you. If they cannot, then you know what? 6 life and 3 cards for 2 mana is pretty insane. So it's a really powerful card. Frankly, not that difficult to activate. Then we have the Swarming Spider. The only card that was not changed. Seriously. The only card that was not changed. Actually, I'm not sure if I talked about it last week. But I'm not sure if I'd be able to show this. Yeah, because technically I don't have those spiders. And let's... don't have required number of copies of 1 or more cards in your deck. Well, it's not saying this on this deck, which uses Boar Rider. It's not saying this on this deck, which uses the Angelic Emanations. What if I'd added the deck? Yeah, and just put another hero. Well, it works. I might crush the game, but... Spider was not changed. The cool thing about this spider is that it changes its look. Huh, nice. It changes its look based on the play boosts you apply to it. And it's really insane. Yeah, I really just want to go there and plus 1 mana, 1 card. Look, Swarming Spider, deadly. Okay. See, there's a different artwork. There's a basic artwork. It changes. Oh god. That's a little annoying. Also, I'm out of cards. That is more annoying. No, seriously? I don't want it. I would need more. Well, if I don't do deadly, then it looks just the same. I could attack, whatever. Seriously? That thing again? Yeah, I want to gather a few spiders. The spider is very interesting card, and especially with the ethics that could draw cards basically the way she pleased. There we go. Boom. Gains a Might Emblem. Okay. And here is the Might Emblem Swarming Spider. Haha, awesome. Isn't it? The correct answer is yes, it is awesome. Some people said that it was kind of confusing and that it kind of sounded like that would put... or maybe it was on the old version of the card. I don't remember what the old version of the card said. Might do the one last thing to show. If you do that, wait, 5, 7, so we can show the last play boost. If you do this, unluckily, there is no like artwork that would combine both the effects. So that kind of sucks. But the card is still insane. And this is probably the best card of the entire release. It was kind of better with the old... Oh, seriously? It was kind of better with the old... Oh, seriously? Was kind of better with the old edicts. Because that would definitely benefit out of it. You know what I can do? I can do that. Play a swarming spider. I shouldn't win yet. But after that... Oh, seriously? That thing? Oh my god. Also, this awesome deck uses only one corruption level and basically wins the game. So it's magnificent. Yeah, slow it down so it cannot do shit. Use everything. A very powerful spider. Yeah, on easy it's not difficult to make very powerful spiders very easily. In other games it's kind of more difficult, but the spider is amazing. And this is probably like the best, the most polished card of all the cards that are in this release. But anyway, the last card we're having there is the Angelic Emanation. Flying, life bound, play boost, summon and change soul if you pay 1, play boost, shield emblem if you pay 1. So actually Angelic Emanation also did not get changed at all from the initial version. That's a really nice card, but again with kinda limited use, as it cannot really do much besides from basically what is called, from basically playing in the Angels deck and allowing you to drop an earlier Angel. This is what I have in the... actually, I was trying to build something around it, but considering I don't have any Triangelicas, this deck was not the best. Also, it's Order, and I don't feel comfortable at Order. Really, really uncomfortable at Order. This is not my aspect. I don't like it. It's actually nice. It's showing the new edicts art here. Oh, and it's finally showing the new new expansion symbol, which is great. Oh yeah, they have been fixed. Nice. Yeah, because during the testing they were still using the old symbol. Nice, really nice. So that's basically it. Yep, a little bit of spoilers one day ahead. But hopefully we will not... Ifko will not slaughter me for that. Yeah, as I said, most of those cards were showed already anyway. Etix was shown. Boar Rider wasn't shown, and I think one more card was not shown. Yeah, I think only 2 cards were not announced officially in the way that I cannot spoil them. The Boar Rider is definitely one of those, but this card is so not exciting that I don't really feel bad for spoiling it. And the other card, oh, I think the other card was Superiority, which actually I did not get to test because I did not build a deck for it. so I don't really know how it'll fare. I don't know, I'll be probably checking them early, because I will probably be buying the whole pack of all the cards. 1200 crystals is not that crazy. 300,000 gold is not that crazy either. A little bit behind on the gold, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Just out of curiosity. 1250 crystals, 37.5 Polish zlotys. So to normal currency that would be like what, $10? More or less. I think one US. Actually, I have no idea how much. Wait, it will be less. How much is a USD right now? I would check. What? No. That's not what I wanted to. God damn it. Okay, so yeah, 1 USD is like 355 Polish zlotys. So if $1 is 3.5, then 37.50. Yeah, it would probably be around $10 US in the American currency. And I guess you can translate it to whatever currency you're using. Although I'm not actually sure how Spellweaver translates the prices. Also, those might be kind of Steam-based, since I'm using the Steam version. I don't know. Anyway, that was exciting, and there was a lot of stuff happening there. Ancients Rising will rise on... Ancients will rise on Saturday. That's a good one. Was not entirely intended, but yeah, earlier on, Ivko said that it would probably happen on Friday. He was saying that it is like the most likely. I think I should have more quests in this region than just 2. Yeah, but also I think I've seen that quests have problems spawning if you have quests in the area. I don't know. I'll have to confirm that. If that's so, yeah, because I think that once I left the game for like 3 days or so with only 2 regions empty, and after 3 days or so I had like 1 region full, 1 region with one quest missing, and actually, you know, I was sitting there when the timer ran out and no new quests appeared. So, although if they would be appearing like 1 every, I don't know. I'll confirm after this. If after the next 20 minutes there won't be new quest in here, I will have to notify Ivko that something's broken again. Yeah, as I said, Ivko was initially saying that Friday is the most likely, but they have to go through App Store, the usual, and that might take a little more time. Yeah, I believe Ivko is ultra happy every time he has to do anything with App Store. Like, I remember when they were trying to release the mobile version. Like, everything was working, everything was fine. It's only Apple who had some problems, and they had to do stuff and postpone the release like 2 or 3 times because Apple. Yeah, this is why I don't like Apple. That's just my personal opinion. Okay, so we're getting quite a long video right now. It's one of the longest videos in a while. Also, one thing I should mention is probably the weekly Rinrit's weekly deck meta-analysis report thingy, whatever he calls it. This week with Corruption Control, a very nice deck. Probably one of my favorite corruption decks at all. which I would be totally playing the shit out of if I had Advanced Nephoros, because this is a magnificent deck, very powerful, pretty consistent in what it is. It is kind of slow. It is a control deck, so it might have some problems with early aggro, although it has some ways of dealing with it. Yeah, I really like it. I really like the Advanced Nephoros ability. Really good deck. That's all I want to say about it. Anyway, with that said, that will be it of that exceptionally long video. Haven't made such a long video in a while. But I hope you enjoyed the overview of the cards and the changes that were made to them during the balancing process. I hope Ivko won't kill me for that. And I'll see you next week with more Spellweaver news, I guess. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Yeah, take care.